All right, so we got kind of heavy with it last week. We talked about toxic fandom. So we want to keep it light this week, laugh at ourselves, keep it breezy. So we asked you guys to tell us, what comic book character names did you used to say wrong? You totally messed it up, but you were confident that you had it right. And we're going to look at some of the things you guys had to say, and I'm sure I will mispronounce all of it, so brace yourselves. Okay, we're starting off strong. Web. When I was very young, I didn't understand the idea of a soft C, so I used to call Cyclops Cryclops. I love that.
That's adorable, actually.
5-year-old me even rationalized that I must be right because shooting lasers from your eyes would hurt his eyes and make him cry.
I love that. I love it. He also has a superhero named Eric Masterson, which is actually the other Thor from the 90s, which I thought was pretty funny. So, yeah.
All right, Blake says, I think I used to call the Avengers the Advengers because they kept adding more characters than I could keep up with. Plus, I have a funny accent when I get a cold. Oh, Joe Field, founder of Free Comic Book Day. Fantastic Four villain. Oh, I don't even know how to say this.
Annihilus.
Annihilus. Okay. Me and my comic-loving pals pronounced it Annie Hillis. Love that. Made him sound more like a Woody Allen character, didn't it?
Actually, yeah, it did. Well done. Well done. I like that.
Liam says, I used to think Darkseid was Darkseid, Thanos was Thanos, and Carnage was pronounced, Carnage was pronounced in a French way, like Don Carnage from Tailspin. Amazing. Hey,
and you almost did it yourself.
I did. Well, you know what is, Johnny gave me a heads up on that, so I was looking for it, and I was like, as soon as I see it, I'm just going to say it the fancy way.
But I love that.
Andy responds to Liam and goes, OMG, French Carnage, love it. A handlebar mustache and a beret, and he attacks Spider-Man with a baguette.
Fair enough. All right, we'll see.
Nicholas says, for some reason, I used to pronounce Colossus as though there were another L in it, Colossalus. I'm not sure why I said it that way. And then Nicholas responds, Zer responds to Nicholas saying, I used to see it as coleslaw ass. Love that.
Coleslaw ass. All right, yes. And now that's going to get stuck in my head every time. Oh.
Nope, we're not doing this. Hard
Come on, Action. Come on, Action. How do you say it?
Mizzle?
Ooh.
Mizzle? I don't know.
So, okay, I'm sure people who watch the show know exactly what this. Ashton's not big into superheroes, so look. You can argue over how you say his name, right? There's a Superman villain, right? And his whole shtick is he needs Superman to say his name correctly. Like that's the whole shtick. Like that's the entire concept behind the character. I personally have always called him Mr. Mixelplicht. That's what I've always said, Mixelplicht. Now, I'm curious if you're in the comments. I want to, if you can just break it down. How would you say this, and how have you been saying it when you're reading the comics? Because I'm very curious. Because it's fun because like it's someone. I feel like I don't know exactly who created this character. I'm sorry, but whoever created this character in the comics, I feel like they were having fun with the fact that you're reading a comic, right? Yeah. And and so they're making it somewhat interactive before that was actually a thing. So yeah, I absolutely love that. Ashton, has there ever been a character that you like mispronounced? It could be comics, television. I mean, well, not television, but like, it can be anything. Like,
yeah. So I have two, and they're both from Dune because there's a lot of wacky things happening in that book. So the first one is the Fremen. I thought for sure it was like Freeman, 2 E's, which I was like, hey, it makes sense. Like they're roaming the desert and they're free, like the Freeman. And my mom had to like gently steer me and be like, Fremen. And then the other one, so this is one that I knew in my mind when I'm reading the book. I know that the Duke's name is Leto, but I kept seeing it like Leto, like Jared Leto. And I'm like, I know it's wrong, but I can't get my brain to stop saying it that way.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Actually, isn't Jared Leto in Dune?
No.
Okay. All right. I just made that up there. I thought he was.
I mean, everybody else in Hollywood is
right,
in Dune,
yeah.
but Jared Leto is not.
I feel like once you get Dave Bautista, like you kind of like you're like just putting everyone in the movie. The only thing you need next is Sam Jackson, J.K. Simmons, and The Rock.
No, none of them were invited.
And Kevin Hart, because they seem to be in every movie. So there
Right.
you go. Mine is actually really embarrassing. And actually my friends like used to make fun of me for it until they actually set me straight on it one time. Psylocke, right? Psylocke. And I actually saw somebody in the comments kind of say something similar. I used to call her as a kid, mind you, was an adult, was not an adult, but as a kid, I used to call her Pasloki. Like I don't know why. Like,
you know what? As a kid though, that makes sense because they teach you like sound it out. So in your mind, you're like, I'm gonna say all of the letters in this word.
Right, but Pasloki kind of sounds like an insult. It sounds like a dirty word, and on top of that, like I should have made the connection that she's psychic, so Psy. Right. You know, I should have made that connection. So Psylocke, that was my thing. Also, I want to point out because I mentioned this on our Snyder Cut roundtable a few weeks ago. I have always said Dark Seed. So whoever said that earlier, you're not alone. Like I am in the same boat. Like I've always said Dark Seed because it's EID. So, and I felt like Dark Side was way too literal. So I thought that it was Dark Seed. And so, you know, I knew going into the Justice League movie, they were going to say Dark Side, but in my brain, I still say Dark Seed. Even when I still read the comics, I still say Dark Seed. So, you know, it's just fun with words. You know, I think that that's one of the unique things about comics is like that, you know, an entire character could be named something. Like you get the name wrong, and you'll be saying it for years.
Forever, forever. The first time you read something and you read it and you say it wrong, it's like it doesn't matter how many times you get corrected on it. You're like, this is burned into my brain rent free for the rest of time I'm saying this wrong.
Absolutely. And as you pointed out, it's also the case with novels, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. But it's just an interesting wrinkle that comes from you know, reading fiction and whatnot, you know, and these made up words that these creators make. So I don't know. I'm curious if Johnny has one. Johnny, do you have one at all?
Well, real quick, I do want to break in here because on our message thread about the names that we pronounce incorrectly, Mr. Mixyzpitalik.
Pitalik.
Because it's actually a frame or a panel from a Superman comic book that he actually sounds it out phonetically. So
is it the John Byrne one? Do you have it? Or
I think so. I don't remember. Someone posted a picture of it in the thread.
Okay.
Mixyzpitalik.
Okay, cool.
I've always said Mr. Mixelplick because that's just easier to say.
Yeah. Like I've always leaned in that direction, or like, you know, whatever I said, or like I can't remember.
No, but that has always been the one. That's why I put that in there because I've never known how to say it. I'm just like, we'll say it the lame ass way. That's easy for my stupid brain to get out of my lips.
Right. No, I totally understand you. I totally get you.
But there's also plenty of words that we as people just say wrong altogether. Like, Troy, what would you call H2O?
What would I call H2O?
Hold on. I feel targeted. This is a Baltimore thing.
I know where this is going. I would say H2O, but what would Ashton say? Don't try to change it, Ashton. I don't think you could if you tried, though.
I couldn't. I would say water.
and how many R's are in that?
Well, okay.
Wait, I'm pronouncing it.
You know what? Actually, no. I'm going to back you up on this. I'm going to back you. I thought you were going for how she says "oh," but no. There's a.
I do. When I say like a word like home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Like my friend. So first of all, I didn't notice this until there was a 30 Rock episode where they made fun of people from Maryland's accents, which I thought was hilarious in retrospect because I had no idea that I said during the national anthem.
Like in the immediate area for where we're at, like we're in the general Baltimore area, and there are people from Baltimore, especially like northeast area called Dundalk, have a certain vernacular. Sounds a little bit something like, oh, you know, me and cousin Butchie, we's gonna go down the ocean. Yeah, he couldn't post bail. He's not gonna come out of jail, but you know, we're gonna take his Camaro down there, have a couple natty bows, have some old bay. It's gonna be a good old time, eh? That's
do you know what though? Like I'm always like, yeah, I sound fine. I'm regular. It's okay. And then like we travel for cons and stuff, and I talk to people from other parts of the country, and they're like, oh, from other parts of the country, and they're like, oh.
Well, no, like, and you know what? America. No, like, here's the thing, though, right? Like, my buddy who's from Alabama had moved to Maryland, and I'm not from I'm not from Maryland. I'm from DC, but then I moved to Maryland when I was pretty young. But I always say water. I always say that. Like, and I've said that too. Like, and I think it's just something regional. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's just something we do. And I don't know how to, like, Johnny, say water.
Water.
I don't are you from Maryland? Are you from Maryland?
Yeah. Yes.
Huh. I don't know.
I don't know.
You're disinvited from our club.
Okay, but here's also the problem.
I'm gonna have to see some ID, Johnny.
I also don't like crabs with Old Bay.
Ew.
I'm not a big fan of crabs either. So,
right.
So yeah, there you go.
Anyway,
and I know there's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway, Ashton, what is this week's poll?
Don't forget that you can catch Previews World Weekly streaming live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific at Previews World on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.